And we're live. We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Spark.
And we are here today. Spark, why don't you put that mic a little closer to you? And
Is that better?
There we go. So we can make sure that we hear you. And we got a dynamic show for you today. We got two dynamic interviews. I think we have someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for, of course. Then we have another one that's jumping in. And of course we got good news and bad news. And then we have let me see. Classy Lady Spark, we got good news, bad news, and we definitely got the sizzle. Sizzle, you gonna bring that up on the top of the hour. We got dynamic interview. But you know what? This is what I'm gonna do, right? Before we get into anything, I gotta say this special report that just came in, because this is troubling. Right, little troubling. So, House passes defense bill automatically registering men 18 to 26 for a draft. Okay, so yeah, the House of Representatives passed a measure on Friday automatically registering men aged 18 to 26 for selective service. It was part of the annual National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, which sets out the U.S. government, military, and national security priorities over the next fiscal year. The year NDAA authorizes $895.2 billion in military spending, a $9 billion increase from fiscal 2024. It goes on to say, while it hasn't been invoked in over half a whoa, what you doing? Here we go. While it hasn't been invoked in over half a century, it's mandatory for all male U.S. citizens to register for the selective service, also known as the military draft, when they turn 18. Failure to register is classified as a felony. And comes with a host of legal challenges. Support of the amendment argue that it would cut down on bureaucratic red tape and help U.S. citizens avoid unnecessary legal issues, as well as cutting down on the taxpayer dollars going toward prosecuting those cases. And so what's interesting about that is, they need to do more advertising, right? I think that, and this is an opinion, I think that if they do more advertising, you don't have to force people to register. You'll have those who want to enlist in the armed services and those who don't, right? And so those who do, then you can enlist them. And so what I think is that they're down in enrollment, and that's because people either feel disgruntled about the military or I don't see any marketing no more.
Well, let me tell you
Here we go.
Because I was so upset. My son received that letter in the mail when he was 18.
Wait. Are you serious?
Yes, I am absolutely serious.
Wow.
I was almost in tears when he received this letter in the mail stating that he had to register for selective service.
Wow.
And I was just so afraid because, like you said, it was like, it was pointing out what can happen to you if you don't register.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you go that route of not registering, it's kind of like you could get caught up in something and it just wasn't worth it. So he registered for it and I was almost in tears.
Wow.
I'm like,
But I do know that there's one, if you're the only son, because my son didn't get the letter and he's 27. Okay. However, if you're the only male child that can carry the name, I think that that's a part of you can be, either at the bottom of the list or not chosen.
Well, Lauren, but
this letter made no mention of that.
Yeah, because Lauren, that's your only child, right?
I have that is my only child.
Yeah,
and
so
it was like
it might not be in the letter, but that's one of the loopholes that if it's your only child, the male child, because he's the only one that can carry the names, supposedly. Right. You know what I mean?
It's supposed to be. Right. That was how long ago? Is that still relevant or?
Oh yeah, but that's people don't know about it because they trying to draft young men, so
Yeah.
they not going to advertise that part.
They
But
did not
yeah,
have any of that language in there.
they're not. They are not. But that's one of the things that I read, that if it's the only male child to carry
And
the
that's what I
name,
was thinking.
that could be, yeah.
I was thinking, why was he even getting this letter anyway? Like,
But that's crazy because I thought they stopped doing that.
me too.
Yeah. And with all of the rules and transgender and all that stuff, they're going to be fighting this too.
Yeah.
Because honestly, with military, I think that they need to get it. They give good benefits, but they need to incentivize more. They need to give them better pay. You know, you're really going out there risking your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? Let me read this real quick because this kind of puts some things in context. By using available federal database, the Selective Services agencies will be able to register all of the individuals required and thus help ensure that any future military draft is fair and equitable. Houlihan said during debate last month, according to Defense News. So this was brought up by, it was led by Republican Chrissy Houlihan, and passed in the House Armed Services Committee version of the NDAA in May. And then it goes on to say this will also allow, hold on, this part right here, because I want to read this part. This will also allow us to rededicate resources, basically that means money, towards reading readiness and towards mobilization rather than towards education and advertising campaigns driven to register people, which goes to my point, right? It's taking away the money from the advertising and education and just putting it into automatically registering people. So you're taking away the ability for people to choose and say, this is what I want to do, which is a problem, right? For me, if you're giving us a right and then you're saying that only certain people can't, remember, certain people apparently can't register, which means felons, convicted felons, they can't register, right?
Wow.
And people that's locked up. And if you have a severe health issue or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a lot of us left.
Right, because if you have asthma,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't.
can't.
And I'm trying to check that as far. It looks like if you are the only male child, that you still have to register
Oh, wow.
for like selective service. So
But maybe the loophole is that if you are the only male child, maybe that is the loophole to getting out of it.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah. Well, it sucks. It definitely sucks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I just wanted to put that because that was a special report that just popped up on our feed every time that we get some a news flash. And there's some other things that I'll probably read later. But I guess Class Lady Sparkle, you ready for me?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, why don't you give it to me early?
All right, so former Manhattan prosecutor Linda Fairstein and Netflix, they settled a defamation lawsuit over her portrayal in the miniseries When They See Us. Now, if y'all remember, Fairstein was the white lawyer in the movie. She claims that the series depicted her unfairly during the 1989 Central Park 5 case. Netflix will donate $1 million to the Innocent Project, and the series will include a disclaimer noting its dramatization. Fairstein stated it was about setting the historical record straight. Director Ava DuVernay asserted that Linda Fairstein was in the precinct for over 35 hours straight while the boys were interrogated as adults, often without parents present. So basically, she's standing on business. Ava like, listen, you may not like what you see in the mirror, but what we showing is what was. And if anybody could tell how that story was, the five men, boys then, but the five men told her, Ava, what took place.
Yeah.
But she got $1 million from the lawsuit from
Unbelievable.
Netflix.
Unbelievable.
Ain't that something to say? Y'all made me look like a bad person, and yeah.
Well, that's not the first time that something like this has happened, but actually on another level. That if you remember the time of the Starbucks with the gentlemen that were locked up, that were falsely arrested.
Yeah.
Remember the manager? Remember she got a payout.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't like what you look like, then change who you are.
Hello.
That's
Absolutely.
it. Because it's ugly. And it's like, yeah, now see yourself.
Yeah. You know what they say? When people show you who they are, believe them.
The first time.
It's our first time, no doubt.
Mhm.
All right. So, Judicial Watch has filed a action lawsuit against Evanston, Illinois, claiming reparations for black residents violates the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause. So this right here is basically saying that reparations for black people is not reparations for white people. So now the white people are suing. The suit represents 6 non-black residents with historical ties to the city. They argue that the race-based eligibility is unconstitutional. Approved in 2021, the program offers up to $25,000 to black residents for housing or direct payments funded by a cannabis tax. So Judicial Watch President Tom Filton called the program a ploy to redistribute tax dollars based on race. Plaintiff seeks to stop the program race-based criteria and receive $25,000 each. An Evanston spokesperson declined to comment on the litigation. So basically, they saying they trying to get their time back. Like, y'all not going to keep getting, things that from yesteryears.
I'm reclaiming my time. Because ain't no way. You. Go ahead. I'm reclaiming my time. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Because I'm going to get on my soapbox. So
Well, give us a little bit of soapbox. Go ahead.
They have some nerve. You know how much audacity that is for you to take a position like that when the whole world know that you enslaved a group of people and took their money and promised them actually 4 acres and a mule and never gave it to them? You really want to do that? You really, the audacity. And I'm going to just leave it at that.
And they won.
Yeah.
It's
Unbelievable.
at the end of the day, they're being heard.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. So this last story is about a 17-year-old boy who was shot and killed while trying to break up a fight outside Garfield High School in Seattle. Authorities said that the teen died later in the hospital. Seattle Police Department Chief Eric Barden stated one of the original combatants approached the victim and an additional altercation broke out, leading to the suspect firing multiple rounds.
Wow.
The suspect is still identified and at large. Barden called the incident an extraordinary tragedy. Garfield High School is closed. It was closed last week, but police urge anyone with information to call the Seattle Police Department, the violent crime line.
Unbelievable.
So it was a young man who tried to break up a fight. But that's another thing. It's like, when you see him on Instagram and you're like, well, why are you just filming with your phone? Why don't you do something? Yeah. Somebody lost their life because they did something. It's really like between a rock and a hard place. Do you help or do you just mind your business? Or do you say, hey, I might not be able to intervene, but I'll call the police. Or I'll let my phone keep, filming. At least there's evidence.
Yeah.
What approach do you take?
No, but that's a shame. And because what happens is you do have a lot of people to say, don't just film, help out. And it's hard because now you risk helping out will get you murdered or get you killed, get you unalived. Right. And so we need to it's unfortunate. Definitely unfortunate. Yeah.
So, but that was your good news. I don't know if it was good news, but that was your good news and bad news from your girl, Classy Lady Sparkle.
No doubt. I still give you a round of applause. I do want to give another in this moment of hyper local news, something that happened in Philadelphia. To your point, to a degree, argument over bicycle leaves Philadelphia 9-year-old dead. Campaign says. So listen to this. A child was pronounced dead after rescuers found him in Tacony Creek on Sunday, June 9th. Authorities told Daily Voice. Police were called to the creek near the 100 block of East Wyoming Street around 6 p.m. The victim, 9, was found unresponsive and taken to St. Christopher's Hospital when he died, city police said. Citing the city's medical examiner office, Fox 29 identified the boy as Philadelphia School District student Ernest Harmon Tagg. Tagu, I think. Tague, I think it might be. Harmon Tagu, or Tague, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing the last name. Loved ones had launched a fundraiser on GoFundMe to assist with funerals costs. The campaign launched by Gigi McDonald says Ernie was supposed to be, listen to this. This is why I say, where are your kids? It says Ernie was supposed to be at a friend's house, but ended up in the creek. He was with his friends, and when one of the boys Ernie was with pushed him in the water, McDonald wrote, the supposed story is that the boys got into an argument over a bike. Over a bike. So what happens is, please pay attention to your kids, where your kids are, and make sure they vet their friends.
Yeah,
vet their
like
friends.
he pushed them in the, so when he fell in, he didn't call to parents or be like, hey, my friend just fell in.
They probably were scared. This little boy was 9, 8, 9. Yeah. And so, 9-year-old. So he honestly, the kids, 9 are babies. 9-year-olds are babies.
Yeah.
Right? And so they probably didn't know what was going on, probably was scared. And I'm sure it was just little boys kind of like fight. You can't, put too much emphasis. Yeah. Go ahead.
It needs to go back to how it was when we were little, when you couldn't go past Miss Smith's house, and you had to stay in front of your door after certain hours. Like, it has to go back. Right. Yeah, it's sad and it's unfortunately.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, right? Make sure you teach your kids how to swim. Because it could have been something as simple as just knowing how to swim and get to the edge and get back out of there. It probably was a accident. It's such an unfortunate event. But if you want to help the family, make sure you help the family. Yeah, no doubt.
They have a GoFundMe?
Yeah, they have a GoFundMe. Let me see if I can. I'll say that one more time. It says Harmon Tagu's family, I'm sorry if I'm saying the name right, loved ones has launched a fundraiser on GoFundMe to assist with the funeral costs. The campaign launched by Gigi McDonald says Ernie was supposed to be at a friend's house but ended up in the creek. It doesn't say, so that's all I have about the GoFundMe, but you probably can find his name, Google his name, find the GoFundMe and help the family.
That's
rest in peace to the young ones.
Sad.
Absolutely. So that was good news and bad news. That was my piece of hyper-local news. I think we need to start talking a little bit about what's going on in Philly. And make sure we amplify some of the news that's going on in Philadelphia, because that's what we do here in We Talk Weekly, because that's where we are. And so I don't want you guys to go anywhere. When we come back, we got a dynamic interview. We'll be right back after this, y'all. All right.
We just want to get a little background as to who the Fantastic Noise is and the noisemakers. If you can let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I am Fantastic Noise. I am the original noisemaker, so no one's going to make as much noise as me, okay? And right here we have the Noisemaker Band. This is only half of it. The other stuffs are upstairs. My Kevin Lamar, Lonnie, and Dobbs, who are the actual band members. These are the background singers. And we came to make some noise. We came to bring that noise today. That's what we trying to do. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Oh man, so it started with, I've been doing this on my own for almost 3 years now. And man, I guess each of these people here have different background stories. Most of us went to the same church together, and we just kept going. This one, this is one of my assistants here, one of like my biggest supporter, my biggest shooter here. She's an assistant. So we just been building, and the same thing with upstairs with the band, just meeting through people, kept networking, kept seeing, and it was just like God ordained. Bam, here we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, could you guys do We Talk Weekly a favor?
Yeah.
Can you give us a drop in a melody type way?
Oh, a melody type way?
Yes.
Okay. So We Talk Weekly?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We Talk Weekly, come and hear us. We Talk Weekly, come and hear them. 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 We Talk Weekly, come and hear them.
Okay, get beautified because y'all already gorgeous.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We Talk Weeklies after the talk with WPP MLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
Classy Lady Sparkle is definitely in the building, and this is part of the segments of the show on We Talk Weekly that I love because I get a chance to interview the dynamic people. And we have someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Classy Lady, why don't you let us know who do we have today?
Today we have Christine Joy, founded in 2016 by social worker Christine Joy, Purple House Project PA Incorporated. That's PHPPA. She aims to empower women impacted by intimate partner violence and break the cycle of domestic abuse. She's recognized as a 501c3 nonprofit in Delaware County. PHPPA serves all individuals affected by intimate partner violence. Y'all already know what to do. Give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Christine Joy.
Hey, let me give a round of applause. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Hold on, let me make sure I can get you on here real quick. Let me see. One more again. Let me hear your voice.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I still don't have you. Let me see here.
Check one. You want me to bring it up?
You on 3?
I'm on 3.
Give me one more time. Let me see.
Hello, everybody.
I'm not hearing you. Let me make sure you good. One more again.
Hi.
There we
There she
go.
goes.
I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, give her a round of applause. So, we got your mic going,
Yes.
and we're super excited to have you here in the studio today on the show. And first, something that I like to do always is ask, how was your day? How are you feeling? So, talk to me a little bit. How was your day?
My day was really good, very productive.
Okay.
Started the morning off, dropping my son off. He's in a mentorship group. So dropped my son off, did some errands for my organization, then went to a family barbecue, and now I'm here. So it's a good day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice out. So it was great today,
Yeah.
Great day for barbecue. So I'm going to get right into you and some of the things that you're doing, right? Now, when we talk a little bit about, your particular scope, intimate partner, right? Why don't you, for those who are watching, why don't you truly explain what that means so people can kind of understand what you're doing with respect to the scope that you're in?
Yes, thank you
You're
for
welcome.
the opportunity. So when we talk about intimate partner violence, also known as domestic violence, essentially it's an unequal distribution of power and control. And so that can take the form of financial abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse, sexual abuse. And what that looks like is when someone has more control over the other partner, they use different tactics such as manipulation, violence at times, and hurtful words in order to gain power and control. And so we here at Purple House Project PA, we tell people that we're the step after someone leaves an abusive relationship.
Right.
We're not the people you call if you're in imminent danger. There is a domestic violence hotline that you can call in Philadelphia, Delaware County, Bucks County. And we could probably drop the number to that
Sure.
in the link. But we provide case management services to folks who recently got out of an intimate partner violence relationship. We provide relocation funds for folks as well when funds are available. We provide personal care items. Our goal is to provide essential services that aid in the healing process because we know that after someone gets out of a very abusive relationships, it's really difficult to pick up the pieces. So we help pick up the pieces.
Wow, interesting. Now, when you go ahead, Spark. I know you thinking. Go ahead. Yeah, for sure.
No, I was just going to ask what prompted this. There's a need for it, definitely, and we all, that 6th degree of separation, know somebody who knows somebody. What prompted you to start such a great organization?
So a couple of different reasons. So when I was in college, I have my master's in social work. And so while in school, we have to do an assignment called a genogram, where we look at different patterns that have happened in our family. And some of those patterns look like substance abuse, domestic violence, drug addiction. And so I noticed that domestic violence was something that was super prevalent in my family. And I felt like the society we live in does an okay job at providing emergency services. So we're like, here's a, a bus pass here and a food voucher here.
Right.
But we really don't empower the women once they get out of the relationship and give them like tools that they need in order to be successful to stay out of a relationship.
Right.
And so after I graduated, I became a social worker, and I too started giving out the bus passes and the food cards. But I realized there was a need outside of that. Like, people need access to personal care items. They need bras. They need menstrual products. They need housing, not just a one-time thing, but like someone to sit down with them and say, like, okay, here's some financial literacy. Here's how you can, if home buying is a goal, here's how you can do this. If mental health is something you want to do, here's a resource for that. And so that's kind of how we got started. Like, noticing the gaps and wanting to try to fill the gaps.
Yeah. So when someone, so walk me through the process of someone, say for example, there's a young lady, someone that feels they are being kind of victimized, right? What's the step that they need to do to get in contact with you, and then where do you begin with walking them through the process of giving them the need, so to speak? Yeah.
So we get all kinds of referrals. We get referrals from hospitals, social workers. We also get self-referrals. And so what happens is folks call us on our personal number, 267-332-6141, and we assess. And so we like to look at a strength-based model and a women's empowerment model. And so we always ask, like, what's important now? Like, that's our psychosocial assessment, like, what's important now? So for me, you don't have to talk about the abuse. You don't have to, like, relive the trauma, but just talk to me about what's important now. So oftentimes people, what's important now is their most basic needs being met. Like, okay, miss, I just need transportation because I had to move out of my home, and my daughter has to go to school in Southwest, and I'm in a shelter in Germantown. So I need, access to transportation, or I need personal care items and clothes because I literally left with the clothes on my back. And so people call, we assess, figure out what the immediate needs are, and then we do a service care plan with them as well. So, like, okay, what's your goals? Like, is housing your goal? Like, do you want to buy a home? Do you want to just get, affordable apartment? Do you just need food for the next, 30 to 60 days? Like, what's your goal? And then we connect them to resources that help with all those things.
Fantastic.
So you can refer, like I said, you can refer yourself. I've even posted on Facebook groups as well. There's like this Mommy in Real Life Facebook group. So I've gotten referrals off of Facebook because those kind of communities are untapped, but like people use social media as a way to exchange resources.
Right.
I've posted on social media too about like personal care items that we offer, as well as like our case management services.
Right. Real quick, 1 second, Spark. What are the personal care items that you provide? Just so we can have all this on, so people can see you.
Yeah, right now we provide pads, tampons, bras as they are available, diapers and wipes. So those are what we provide, and toiletries too. So like deodorant, soap, and things like that.
Are organizations, are they sponsoring this? Like, how do you get those items, or are people just donating them?
So it's a little bit of both. This year, we were super fortunate. There's a nursing sorority that reached out to me and said, hey, for our chapter, we need to donate to a charity. So they donated a whole bunch of menstrual products to us. And then also there's like a teacher association that reached out to us back in November, and they donated a whole bunch of bras and menstrual products as well. And so oftentimes, different community organizations, they have different philanthropies that they need to do. And so we've been really grateful and fortunate enough for people to see like the work that we're doing. And then they were like, wait, we can host a tampon and pad drive for you. We can host a bra drive for you. We can host a menstrual product drive for you.
Yeah. I forgot the young lady who we had on the show before. She mentioned a term that I have never heard before, period poverty.
Yes.
And so they were saying that, when it comes to like just simplest pads,
they're expensive.
Yeah,
they're
no
so
doubt.
expensive. A couple of weeks ago, I had to go to BJ's to get some like menstrual products and diapers and wipes for a client, and my son is 9 years old, so I haven't bought diapers in a while. But just buying like pads, diapers and wipes was over $50. You know what I mean? And for someone who has to choose between, am I going to eat tonight, or am I going to live in dignity with my baby? Like, making sure they have their diapers and like, make sure I have what I need while I'm menstruating as well. We try to eliminate that, barrier.
Fantastic.
Christine, I do have a question. And I understand how important it is that women have these resources. But What about men? Have you ever had it where a man was in this type of situation, or do they have resources for men like this?
Great question.
Yes, one of my favorite resources to offer is an organization called Lutheran Settlement House. They have a program called the Masculinity Action Project.
Oh,
and
man.
they
hold on.
yeah.
Pause for that. Slow down. Say that one more again.
Yes, it's called the Masculinity Action Project, and it's through Lutheran Settlement House. And I'm glad you mentioned that because June is Men's Mental
That's
Health
right.
Month.
Yeah.
And we're seeing an uptick in men experiencing intimate partner violence, and they're talking about it more and more, which is awesome. And I feel like there's definitely been a push for men's mental health and, addressing the barriers that they experience. But yeah, I always refer men to Lutheran Settlement House. We've had a couple guys call who have been survivors of intimate partner violence, and we've definitely connected them to the resources that we know about as well. But I definitely stay in my lane and will refer out to, the male-led organizations that I'm familiar with.
I love that. Go ahead, Lauren. I see you have a question. Go ahead.
Hey, I was wondering why, and just long story short, I work in law enforcement, and I was taking some courses that talked about domestic violence and some of the brain trauma that victims are left with after, several blows to the head and things like that. And you mentioned mental health support. They go through so many different things when it comes to the brain trauma that maybe family members or even me working in law enforcement and having to deal with clients in the public, we were pretty much trained to try to recognize some of the brain trauma and the symptoms that they're going through. Why do you think that portion of it is not, focused on as much? Especially like, for example, Cassie, I believe there was talks about her and what she was going through physically and mentally after years of domestic abuse. Why is that not focused on as much?
I think mental health in general isn't focused as much as because you can't see the scars, right? Like, so it's easy to
say that one more again. Yes.
I love that.
I was saying, like, I feel like mental health isn't focused as much because you can't see the scars. So it's easy to have empathy and sometimes even sympathy for someone when you see a black eye or when you see a busted lip. But it's hard to see empathy and sympathy for someone when you can't see the mental health. But sometimes mental health looks like, because of the abuse, difficulty remembering things. And so it's super re-traumatizing when people ask them the same questions and they're like, well, how come this time they gave me a different answer than they gave me last time? And it's just like, because literally there's probably scarring on their brain now because of the trauma that they experienced, or because of the trauma they experienced, they literally have blacked out things. Like, people who've experienced various degrees of trauma, especially, sexual assault victims or people who've experienced rape, there are certain things in their life they literally black out as a survival mechanism. And I feel like oftentimes that looks like, oh, well, because they didn't say it, it didn't happen. It's not, and it's like, it's not that it didn't happen. It's like they literally have been so traumatized, and like in order to survive, they had to black it out, because if they remembered it over and over again, they wouldn't be able to walk out the door or perform certain tasks, because a certain scent might make someone think about, what happened to them, or a smell. So I feel like sometimes people, in an effort to stay safe, block out a lot of things unconsciously or consciously. And so I feel like as a result, our society doesn't see it, or they feel like it looks like manipulation, or, oh, they're lying. And it's just like, they're not lying. They're just trying to survive.
And the crazy thing is that, I'm sorry, but the crazy thing is that they compared it to CTE, what the football players, are diagnosed with after years and years of blows to the head from, getting hit on the field. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah.
Christine, I wanted to know, should there be something with the doctors? Like, let's just say patients that go to the, I'm in healthcare, and I've made it where our providers have to ask these questions to, before they let the spouse or the intimate partner in the room, to say, are you safe? Is there things that, that you want to share, that you feel that, your life may be in danger, or, those type of things? Are they pushing that in the health sector?
I feel like they are, but I feel like sometimes it's like done really casually. Like I know for me, whenever I go to the doctors, I feel like unfortunately our society still has like an idea of what they think domestic violence survivors look like. And so there's just certain people that they breeze through certain questions with, and then other people that they like really go in depth with. And I'm like, no, ask me the full list of questions. You know what I mean? Because I want to know like best practices. Is this what you're doing? Because we know that domestic violence doesn't discriminate against race, social, economic status, religion. But I feel like certain healthcare providers, they like breeze through the questions. And I think that it's important to ask. And sometimes I think even go a step further of like, oftentimes like people are like, do you feel safe at home? But like asking questions like, have you ever like experienced any kind of abuse? And then list out the different types of abuse, because people only think about physical abuse, but they don't think about when their partner like took all their money and as a result their bank account overdrew and they weren't able to pay their bills, or they took all the food and as a result they, weren't able to eat. And so I think healthcare providers should definitely continue to ask those questions and pay attention to like body language too, because sometimes they won't say it, but you can like tell that it's super uncomfortable for their like partner to be in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to make sure, because say the number one more time so people can have it.
Oh, I didn't list it yet. I don't know it off the top of my head. But
is it the 267?
Oh, number? My number. Okay, 267-332-6141.
And they can contact you for that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's a 1-800 number too.
I'm gonna pull this up so they can get in contact with you. There you go. The Purple House Project. There we go.
Yes, thank you.
You're quite welcome, because I think what you're saying and talking about is very important, and I want people to have the opportunity to contact you if they are experiencing any issues, trauma, or feel they need some type of protection. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? Mm-hmm. If someone was to come to you and they're saying that they feel unsafe, mm-hmm. right, at that moment, mm-hmm. do y'all offer like any type of like quick protection services? Like what happens as it relates to that? Yeah.
So we often refer out if someone feels unsafe, but we will definitely be on the phone as we refer out. We often, if they feel unsafe in their home and they need to leave immediately, we refer to the domestic violence hotline. Unfortunately, in Philadelphia, we only have one domestic violence shelter, which only has 200 beds. 200 beds in the whole city of Philadelphia.
Wow. And what's the population in Philly?
Yeah, that's
a lot.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as a result, it's often full. And so we have been on the phone with clients. So as they call each shelter, because the thing about domestic violence is that you don't have to live. It's not a residency requirement, so you don't have to live in a different county in order to access domestic violence shelter. So we'll stay on the phone with clients and we'll call like Bucks County, Berks County, Delaware County, whoever. We often also, when funds are available, will help with relocation funds. We've in the past been able to like provide like a short-term hotel stay for a client while they like get enough money to, move into a new place. Yeah. But definitely we would just refer out to like a domestic violence shelter. If a protection from abuse order is something that they would want to do, we would talk to them about the process and connect them to a legal resource to like support them in that as well.
Can I tell you real quick? 2022, Philadelphia's population is 1.567 million people.
And 200 beds.
Wow.
And it's only one?
Yeah. Yeah. In Philly, yeah.
Can we at least say one that we know of? Because can it be, you think?
There's one certified domestic violence shelter.
One certified, okay. That makes
sense. There's women's shelters, but one like safe haven where like this is what they do, like only domestic violence survivors can go there. That they're certified, and this is what they do.
Got you.
And when you talked about men too, like I don't think there's a men's shelter yet.
Yeah, and that's the so I don't want to get in that because I want to give agency to the sisters in your organization, right? But I do feel that there's a lot of gentlemen out there that feel stuck, that they can't leave, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they get pounded on, beat up on, and the
verbal,
idea,
though, not even just a physical thing, verbal abuse.
But that's the thing. And I want you to talk a little bit about, because you briefly mentioned it, you kind of quickly went over it. What's some of the abuse that people might not even think that they're actually being abused, but they are? Why don't you walk through those, markers of what abuse is, if you can?
I feel like financial is a big one.
Okay.
Financial abuse, looks like your partner taking all of your money, or like trying to be in control of your money as soon as you get paid, having an account for everything everywhere it goes. Also like purposely not paying bills so that it negatively affects your credit, so that when you try to leave, it'll be really difficult because your credit score is not good. Reproductive abuse.
Hold on, let's start. So with the money abuse, right? The financial abuse.
Yeah.
And I want to walk through this. So in the instance of men, if they feel like this is something that they supposed to do, however, how can they translate that? No, you're actually being taken advantage of. How can they, I guess, process or assess what is actual abuse and what isn't?
So I always tell people that there is definitely a fine line between a toxic relationship and a domestic violence relationship.
Got you.
I work with people who experience domestic violence, and for me, the biggest difference is an unequal distribution of power and control. And so there can be, you handle this and I handle that, but at what point it's unequal, at what point that someone feels less than, at what point someone doesn't feel like they have agency or autonomy over their own choices, I feel like that's when it becomes abusive.
Good stuff. All right, now next. What's next?
I would say like spiritual abuse.
Spiritual abuse. What is that?
Wow.
Yes, that's interesting. Yeah.
That's like using your religion as a way to keep someone in a relationship, even if they don't feel like being in the relationship anymore, or using your religion as a form of like, well, the Bible says you're supposed to do this, or the Quran says you're supposed to do this, this, and this, and like using that as a tool to keep someone in a relationship, or like threatening to like tell their religious organization, it's frowned upon in most religions to break up, and so using their religion as a form to keep someone. I would say sexual abuse as well, not consenting even when people are in a relationship or are married. It's still important to have consent throughout the entire relationship. My 9 to 5, I work with people who live with HIV and AIDS. And so we see abuse often where someone is HIV positive and they're in a relationship with someone who is HIV negative, and they threaten to out the person's status if they leave them, or they will hide their medication, or we'll see like birth control sabotage, like hiding birth control, or like poking holes in condoms, or making it really difficult, for someone to protect themselves.
I seen it's a documentary on Netflix, and it's called "Tell Me You Love Me" or something like that.
I should watch it.
Yeah, oh, you have to watch it.
Okay.
And the reason that I'm bringing it up is because the premise of the documentary is a focus on facilitated communication, right? And so it underscores these two people, one that needs assistance, right? The gentleman needs assistance, and the counselor or the support service that he has. Apparently, he can't necessarily communicate unless it's facilitated. He has assistance for it, but she takes advantage of him, and what they arguably raped him, right? Because she said that they had a relationship, right? And so I think of people who are, because some don't like the word handicapped, right?
Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought that up.
Okay, so you see where I'm going.
Yes.
You can see where I'm going with it. So let's talk a little bit about those who might not be able to
Special
communicate.
needs.
Yeah, special needs. They have special needs. They're not able to communicate. Then what do you do?
Yes. So one of my really good friends, her name is Stacy. We've had the privilege of presenting about the intersection of domestic violence and disability, because my friend Stacy lost her vision due to domestic violence, and so she was in a relationship, and we've had the privilege of like sharing her story and speaking about it. So Stacy was in a relationship about 7 years ago, and it started off with one time hit, another time hit, and then after a while it got so bad to the point where he beat her so bad that she lost her vision. And then when she went to the hospital, she also found out she was 2 months pregnant. And so I had the privilege of meeting Stacy about 3 years ago, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Okay.
But it's also Blind and Visual Impairment Awareness Month. And so she was speaking on a declaration and sharing her story about it. And then I was talking about Purple House Project. And we was like, we need to connect. And it was super powerful for two reasons. Number one, because her story just gives me chills every time I talk about it, and her resiliency is just phenomenal. And she's a leader in the community, and we've been able to partner. You should interview her next.
Sure, so bring it to her.
Yes,
we will.
yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
She's phenomenal. And what's interesting about Stacey, because she's Cambodian, and like just like thinking about that intersection, right? So she's Cambodian, and her daughter is Puerto Rican, Black, and Cambodian, and like thinking about the intersection of the race and the intersection of now becoming disabled and domestic violence and how it's not usually talked about in the Asian culture, and so it's so many different nuances. And so Stacey and I, when we present, we talk about domestic violence as it relates to disability and how the tactics look a lot different too. So for example, she is completely blind as a result of her domestic violence. And so we show a video about this UK study, and we show like the different ways people use abuse tactics. So whether that means taking the CNI cane so the person can no longer, move around, or like moving the keys after someone knows that they sat it there. So that tactic's called like crazy making, or like saying things like, no one's going to want you, you're disabled. Like, you know what I mean? Those kinds of things as well. And so Stacey and I talk about best ways to support and provide resources, because Stacey often says like, hey, when I, was in an abusive relationship and now I'm blind, there was all these resources, but they weren't accessible. And so we talk to people about how to make like their websites accessible, their literature accessible. So,
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
That's oh gosh,
Heavy.
Christine, what's something, and it starts young, because these people are now adults that normally, and it's young people who go through it too, but what can we do as a preventive measure? Like, is there something we need to do that are put in classes for people? You show children at an early age that what bathing suit covers is what you're not supposed to have touch. So what can we do that can help people to identify, to acknowledge, and know, one, how to treat people, but to know what that is? Because a lot of times it starts in high school.
Yeah. I would say one of the biggest things, and my friend Nikki at Prevention Meets Fashion often talks about.
Nikki, I know Nikki.
That's my girl.
Yeah, no doubt.
Consent. At a very early age, teaching consent. No means no. It doesn't mean maybe. The importance of like valuing yourself. The importance of like, this is a boundary. The importance of knowing that certain things are just not healthy. It's not healthy for someone to be obsessed with where you are 24/7. And when you tell them like, hey, I don't want to tell you this, they're like, but I love you, and this is what you do to people you love. And it's just like, no, this is not what you do to people you love. And just reminding people that like, I think that no is a complete sentence, the importance of boundaries, and the importance of sharing when you don't feel comfortable. And I think that a lot of times people like, unfortunately, are in abusive relationships and they feel alone because they feel ashamed. But knowing that it happens to 1 in 4 women, and that like if you share your story,
That's a hot, wow, 1 in 4.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If you share your story, chances are someone probably has a similar story to you, and that you guys can heal together because of it. I think also just continuing to talk about like healthy relationships and healthy friendships too. Because I think that a lot of times people don't have healthy friendships, and so as a result, they become really codependent on their partner, and they feel like this is the only person that's going to love me, so I got to stay no matter what, kind of thing.
Do you get the elderly population as well?
Every once in a while. And that one breaks my heart a lot. Like a 70-year-old still like navigating shelter systems because she was in an abusive relationship, and now she got to pick up and go. That one's a hard one for sure.
Jeez, and you're located where again?
We don't have a physical space, but we do a lot of our work in Philadelphia and in Delaware County. We do some work at a local women's shelter in North Philly, and then we do like pop-up community events in the city. We have a community garden at a local women's shelter in North Philly. And then we also do programming in like Collingdale, Darby area.
Okay.
Do you have a website?
We do, purplehouseprojectpa.org.
Yeah, let me pull this up right so people understand. purplehouseprojectpa.org.
Yes, that's us.
And the number that they can contact you is 267-332-6144.
6141.
6141. I'm sorry. 6 is right in front of me. 6141.
Yeah.
And so, wow, that interview went really fast. That was a half an hour already.
Well, we got to do a part 2 in October.
Yeah, let's do a part 2.
Domestic violence.
Yes.
I'll have Stacey come.
Yeah, have Stacey come.
Yeah.
And we'll do a special or something like that.
I'm always volunteering her for something.
And I also heard you say that your son, he's 8 or 9?
He's 9.
9, and you took him to a mentorship.
Yes.
Where is, if you don't mind, is
Yeah.
that something you want to shout out?
Yeah, 365 Brothers. They're 2 Black men who do really dope work. One's an engineer.
Bring them on the show.
Yeah, one's an engineer and one is a school teacher. And what I really appreciate about it is that I have a Black son and all his teachers are white women. And so for me, it's just really important to have Black male leaders that are doing positive things. So they're great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
Lauren. You on mute.
Lauren Sizzle.
There she go. No doubt. Interesting. So we appreciate you coming on the show. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the latest that you have coming out? Anything you have coming? Any projects? Give your website again. I have it up here because I think this is going to be important for people. Some people just don't know.
Yeah. They don't know.
And some people are just scared.
Yeah.
Right? They scared to call or they scared to, leave because they think that, oh God, if I leave, I might have to come back.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And they say it takes the average woman 7 times before she leaves a relationship. And that's for a variety of reasons. The shelters be full, like housing is super expensive right
Kids.
now. Kids, transportation, So.
Yeah. Real quick, have you heard of the theory of, not necessarily a theory, but the idea of a grab bag?
No.
Like, so it's kind of like if you're in one of those domestic situations or somebody breaks in your house, you have a bag that's already prepared for all of your needs so it may have some of your pads, it may have supplies in there, maybe some food,
money
maybe
that
money
you can-
that you,
okay.
so it's like a stash bag or something like that they
That's
call
a
it.
good idea. We have a checklist on our website, but that's a good idea. Like the grab bag, we have a checklist of like make sure you got your birth certificate, social security card. We have that kind of checklist. But I like the grab bag idea. Maybe we can give people bags too.
I like that.
A little branding.
There you go.
Okay.
You do something. There you go.
I'm gonna give you credit, Charles. I'm like, we talk weekly.
There you go. We make sure that they ready. Grab it, but it's supposed to be like some money in there, maybe bus pass somewhere so you can get somewhere.
That's a good idea.
Some important numbers.
Yeah.
Right, some important numbers that they automatically can contact. Maybe even a burner phone.
Yeah.
That if a phone is taken away, they have something in there that they can just take and contact. And, so it's a couple things that I believe that they can put in there and feel that they can at least be somewhere for maybe a few days without worrying about anything.
Charles, you gotta get us some sponsors. I know you got some people in here. Some sponsors who gonna get us these burner phones and these tote bags.
we gonna try. Maybe that's another project that Classy Lady Sparkle could jump on, and we can try to make something happen. Lauren Sizzle always has some things. Sizzle, you got anything else you want to tell this young lady before we leave?
I just want to say, keep on doing what you're doing. We need probably about 10 of you.
Oh, thank you.
It's just so many people, especially after the pandemic and during the pandemic when domestic abuse rates were just through the roof. And now you're seeing, which I've talked to my colleagues before, you're seeing more people, especially minority people who I guess traditionally in their culture, they go through this domestic violence and it's a part of their culture. But now they're starting to speak out, the people that, and it's a shame, the ones that don't even speak English, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't know who to go to, but now some of them are starting to step up, which we've seen on the law enforcement side. So just kudos to you. Just keep going on and don't give up. I know that people are going to, you're I guess it's the saying that for people, you give so much, and I know that your cup will always be full, is what I'm trying to say. So,
and before you go, Christine, I also want to say the same thing, echo what Sizzle just said. But what do you do to decompress? Like, this is a lot to when people are pouring this onto you and you're giving back. What is it that you do to just decompress, reset, so that you can be anew?
Oh, that is such a good question. So I was just decompressing the other day. I love candles, so lighting a candle, blasting some music. I love plants. I love being outside, and then just like the traditional self-care stuff. So like massages, walks, I have an amazing support system too. And so I tell everybody, I don't do any of this work alone. And so I think my support system helps keep my cup full too. And I think for me, one of my favorite things about the work is that I am at the point in the work where like the women are ready to leave, and I'm like able to help empower and be a part of their journey. Yeah. And I remember I got a text message from a lady that said like, I feel like my life is about to start over and you're going to be a big part of the reason why. And so I think it's those kinds of statements and that lens of the work. I don't really talk about the trauma. If people want to share their story, they definitely can. But for me, I'm like, okay, what do you need for me to do? Like, what's important now? Like, you tell me what kind of resources. And so I think that helps. I don't watch the news either. Yeah. And so I think that helps with my self-care too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I want to make sure that you reach back out to, who booked you?
Sheila.
Make sure you reach out to Sheila and send Sheila kind of like, I know she has your information, but send her like a
follow up for the radio.
Yeah, follow up. Yeah, for the other guests, but also kind of like a JPEG or something like that. Because what we'll do, and a link to wherever you want them to go, because we'll kind of leave something on our page that's direct to you if someone has.
For our grab bags that we partner on, we talk weekly about. Y'all heard it first. We talk weekly. We grab bags.
There you go. There you go. We're going to make it happen. And so we just want to make sure that everybody is protected. And we know that it's hard. And we know that we can't point fingers at everyone. But I do want to make sure that we support the community. Philadelphia, we love Philadelphia. And we always talk about like this hyper-local news. And this is news that a lot of people don't know about, right? Yeah. And so we just want to make sure that we amplify that and support it and continue to do what we do. So thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. One more again, how can I get in contact with you? And this is what I want you to do. Tell them how they can get in contact with you one more again, because we have your information on there. But your website, of course. But I want you to give a message to maybe that young lady or that gentleman or whomever that may be watching and needs to make that step to reach out to someone like you. What would you tell them? Give them that opportunity. Talk to them. Yeah.
All right. So you can get in contact with us. Our phone number is 267-332-6141. Our website, purplehouseprojectpa.org. You can slide through the DM. We get a lot of DM slides too. So on Instagram and Facebook, you can message us on either one of those platforms as well. So my shirt says her story. And so, and it's a semicolon at the back of it. Semicolon is often used in communities that have experienced a whole bunch of trauma. And semicolon is when people could have gave up, but they decided to keep on going. And so we often share the importance of like sharing her story and to keep on going. You know what I mean? So the rest of it is blank because you get to write it. You know what I mean? And so just...
Yeah, got a really round of applause. This is amazing. Go ahead.
So just know that your story is powerful and that there's liberation in sharing your story and that you can not only help yourself, but someone else by sharing your story as well. So.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
How can I get in contact with you one more again? They need to know.
They need to know and come to our gala. We're having our first ever gala.
Okay, when is that?
August the 17th.
Okay.
It's going to be at the Discovery Center from 5 to 9. It's our 7th year. Okay. So our theme is 7 Wonders of the World. And so ticket sales are on our front page on our website. So I know you dropped our website, so they can check it out there. And then, yeah, just purplehouseprojectpa.org.
Fantastic. Awesome, well, we appreciate you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You continue to do the fantastic work that you're doing. We'll work on these bags, right?
Yeah, see you in October.
You can see you in October, right? It's so amazing. This is We Talk Weekly, y'all. And this is something that we do. We just want to make sure that, especially people in Philadelphia, man, it's a lot of services out there. It's a lot of resources out there. It's a lot of things that's out there that can support you and do the things that you need to be done if you need help. And a lot of times we just don't know. And that's the thing. So shout out to Philly. Shout out to everyone who's doing some work in Philly. But I don't want you guys to go anywhere. When we come back, hold on, let me see if we got this comment real quick. Someone said, this was good.
Oh, thank you.
Somebody said, this is good. No doubt. So shout out to you. for watching, and shout out to giving that information, because I think this is very good for the people, the ladies and even gentlemen, even our MSM population and people who's out there who's just feeling they have a significant other and feel unsafe. This is a way to reach out, because they can point you to the right direction, right? So I don't want you guys to go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, when we come back, we got someone with whom we're gonna talk food. We're gonna talk some food, right? So I don't want you guys to go anywhere. When we come back, we're gonna talk some food and have a great, good old time. We're going back to, Yeah, I love that. We Talk Weekly.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it in a melodic flow, right? No doubt. I love her. I love her. Fantastic Noise, man. She did what she does. We got to have her back on the show. That's our little theme. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Take a listen, y'all.
We just want to get a little background as to who the Fantastic Noise is and the noisemakers. If you can let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I am Fantastic Noise. I am the original noisemaker, so no one's going to make as much noise as me, okay? And right here we have the Noisemaker Band. This is only half of it. The other stuffs are upstairs. My Kevin Lamar, Lonnie, and Dobbs, who are the actual band members. These are the background singers. And we came to make some noise. We came to bring that noise today. That's what we trying to do. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Oh man, so it started with, I've been doing this on my own for almost 3 years now. And man, I guess each of these people here have different background stories. Most of us went to the same church together, and we just kept going. This one, her, this is one of my assistants here, one of like my biggest supporter, my biggest shooter here. She's an assistant. So we just been building, and the same thing with upstairs with the band, just meeting through people, kept networking, kept seeing, and it was just like God ordained. Bam, here we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, could you guys do We Talk Weekly a favor?
Yes.
Can you give us a drop in a melody type way?
Oh, a melody type way?
Yes.
Okay. So We Talk Weekly?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We Talk Weekly, come and hear us. We Talk Weekly, come and hear them. 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 We Talk Weekly, come and hear them.
Okay, get beautified because y'all already gorgeous.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Here we go. We Talk Weekly after the talk. Go ahead.
Just for the record, that commercial just makes me just like, because it feels like I'm just so loud in it.
Yeah.
I was excited because she just did it. They did an amazing job.
Hold on. Why your mic sound low? Let's talk directly into the game.
Hello, mic check.
Did you change your mics or something?
Oh, it's the
There we
there
go.
we go.
There
See,
we-
it wasn't on me.
Yeah, it wasn't
but
on you.
that I love. I don't know. I love that commercial, but it just feels like I was so excited. Like I was
Good.
so
Yeah,
excited
that's
because
good.
they were great.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was good.
that was the old school.
Yeah, and
Chuck
I mean, for
Rock.
me, was saying We Talk Weekly all crazy, so you can't say We Talk Weekly enough for me. But also, it give me enough time to do what I need to do to transition. I mean, I'm just being honest.
It does.
You know what I mean? So We Talk Weekly after the talk on WPP MLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And next up, we have someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Lauren Sizzle, you doing this one, right?
I think Sparkle's
Oh,
doing.
Spark. Okay, Spark. Well, tell me, who do we have today? Holla at me.
Today we have Chef Kim Ali. I hope I'm saying that right. Chef Kim Ali LLC, based in Oakland, California.
Oakland.
She's Oakland. Yeah, specializes in neo-soul cuisine inspired by Southern comfort food. She offers customized menus and private catering nationwide, starting her culinary journey at 9 years old. Chef Kim Ali aims to create soulful, scratch-made meals. Michelle, also known Shell T. Turner, a mother of 7.
Wait.
A mother of 7 and a pastor.
Okay.
And has been a stand-up comedian for over 20 years, co-owning In His Image Barbershop and To Real Entertainment with her husband. She has written and directed films, produced comedy
she
tours, and her specials are available on major streaming platforms. Y'all already know what to do. Give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Chef Kim Ali.
Chef Kim Ali. Hold on. Here we go. There she go.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry.
Hey, how are you?
Did you hear your bio? Just a little snippet of it?
Yes, and it's Kim L, Chef Kim L, E-L-L-E.
Oh, Kim L. Okay, thank you for that correction. Thank you.
No problem.
You doing all of this?
I've been blessed to be able to do a lot of things in the kitchen, and I'm just so excited about what I'm able to do. Yes.
Awesome. So, okay, there we go. I just got my my thing was on delay. So, Chef, tell us how you got started. Tell us about all these different hats you're wearing, and tell us you're based in Oakland, California. So, tell us about that. You started at 9 years old.
9 years old. I don't know. You guys know back in the day, your parents left you with all the kids. So I used to watch my cousins. I was 9 years old, and I think there was one time my aunt just left, and we had to eat. So I mean, I had been watching, with my mom, my grandma, and I come from a family of people who cook, and so I just think I have the gift to kind of get into the kitchen and experiment. And we did not go hungry. I mean, I didn't have to go to the grocery store, but whatever was in there, I think my first thing I made was some macaroni and cheese, some fried chicken. Yeah, of course, at 9 years old, I probably shouldn't be frying chicken unsupervised, but I did. And from then on, I just kept going into the kitchen and just trying to put things together to make sure that we ate in those times when it was just me, my sister, brother, my cousin. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Name one of your most, I guess, eclectic or maybe a meal that you explored that came out great, and what's one that came out the worst?
Okay, let me start with the worst. The first time I think I burnt something, I was tired, and I learned that you cannot cook when you're tired. So I think I had just had my oldest son, and I wanted some beans and rice. I put the beans on and literally forgot about them. I woke up to the worst smell on this planet. It was just a char. It was horrible. I was about 18 years old, and so I learned definitely do not cook when you're sleeping. Favorite, I've had so many things that have become my favorites. Most recently, I created a salmon burger. It's actually one of my newest featured meals, and so I'm really excited about that creation. And there's this other appetizer. It's called a crispy potato roll, and what it is, it's like a really thin paper, kind of like lumpia roll, and you fill it with Yukon Gold potato, Parmesan cheese, another creamy cheese, shrimp, and like parsley and things like that, and lemon pepper. And it's become one of my crowd pleasing appetizers.
That sounds so good right now.
Shell T. I need to talk about these 7 kids.
Man.
Keep you busy. I would like to know what dinner looked like for them.
Well, actually, my kids were a blended family, so it came together. I had a child. My husband, when I met him, he had 3. I was asking if he knew him, and then he did. So we started there. So we had 4, and then we actually adopted 3 after.
I'll give you a round of applause. One of the superheroes. Okay, for sure.
Give the glory to God, because I said no. I said, no, Lord, if this cup can pass by me. But no, they're all grown now, and I'm happy. I'm blessed. I never went to jail. So God is faithful. Good God. Good God.
So you've been doing comedy for about 20 years, which I'm sure we can tell, right? And so, this how do you blend the 7 kids with the barbershop and you doing your stand up and all of the above?
It's really, really dope because a guy said he didn't give me a prison ministry. So when it came to raising 7 kids, he gave me the platform of doing comedy. So I was able to take all of, my stories and the situation and the circumstances and bring it to the stage, and found out that I'm not the only one that, be going through it as a parent, and dealing with the ups and downs of teenagers, and now my kids are grown, and all of those things. So it became kind of therapeutic and like my sanctuary where I could just really tell people what I was going through. It kind of started with that because I was telling people and they kept laughing, and I was like, why are you laughing? Like, I'm telling you the truth. You should do comedy. And so that's kind of how it all started.
No doubt, no doubt. Chef, well, how when it comes to we think of the economy now, right? And we're talking about how a loaf of bread is like almost $10. Eggs is crazy. What do you do when it's such a price fluctuation now? How do you prepare, and when you're getting gigs or when you're cooking for people, how does that affect your bottom line now?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I try to be sensitive to the fact that everyone is not a chef, nor do they understand the inflation. I think we all should, because you go into the store, if you notice, prices have literally quadrupled from 2020. So it definitely presents its challenges. But I'm also of the mindset where you don't have to sacrifice taste for health. I believe in using freshest ingredients. I mean, that's really just a central part of I believe that food is also a ministry for me. And so, I mean, I try to consider people who have the budgets for that. And for those who don't, I still don't like to skimp out on the quality, but we have to have a real conversations. Like, well, I like to say some people have caviar dreams, but we haven't sardine budgets. And it's like, well, you can't want all like seafood and dairy, things like that. Those things are going to come at a cost. And so I just try to be mindful and have an honest conversation with people about what their budget, what we can afford to do, and also still present something of quality. I mean, it has so many challenges, and I may not be for everybody, but I really try to make sure that I still be in a profit and at the same time serve people. Do a lot of nonprofit things, and it's a daily task to really try to monitor, all that. Being in the restaurant business, it's as a private chef, I don't have the high overhead right now, but I do plan on having a space one day. So it's just trial and error.
So, Shell, so when someone come to Kim and they're saying like, I got this, this caviar taste with sardine money, do you jump in there and have a conversation?
Yeah, I mean, and if it's somebody that I know, I just, probably give them a look if we were face to face, or if we're on the phone, just like, I just kind of give them an example. Like, you just think of no chef is really leaving their house for under $20 per person, right? If you're being honest. But so, I mean, when I first started, I may have been charging $10. That was over 15 years ago. There's no way I would be in business still. So I just tell people, if you go to a restaurant and you were to buy this meal, what would it cost? You take that time, how many people? You start talking about 50 and 100 people. You can't think that you're going to get that $5 a person. It's just not possible. So this is the hard conversation, but it's a real conversation. And I think it's to the respect and it's not just about the food. You got the talent that's going into the building, the menu, the going back and forth to the stores, shopping. And I don't play around when it comes to quality, when it comes to food. So, I just think, bringing in the body of bringing real good food, and I cook with my heart. I think that is my secret ingredient. I can give anybody the recipes, but I believe I've been uniquely designed to do certain things and to touch people through food. And I'm really grateful for that.
And Chef, I'm glad you mentioned that about food and healthiness, because with Southern food, specifically with Black people, it's like, if we're not eating properly, as far as like, a lot of different greases and things like that, a lot of times it's the high blood pressures, the diabetes. When you just said that you cook with your heart, you take all of that in consideration when you're cooking?
Absolutely. I mean, I use things like avocado oils and mostly my ingredients are fresh. Like, I'm in the real good markets. Like, back in California, we have Whole Foods and Sprouts and Trader Joe's, or at the local farmers markets. it's just I just believe that you get the best meals when you present. Like freshness is really important, and you could buy fresh and then freeze if you just want to have something frozen and left over. But I just think personally, I wouldn't even feed somebody something I wouldn't eat myself. You know, sometimes you have like no knock to like even the food giveaways. Sometimes they'll give people scraps and like, well, those people deserve good food. May not be the very, very top, but I'm not going to give somebody box mashed potatoes when I can just take a potato, you know, peel it and serve that. So I really try to be mindful of no matter who it is, you're going to get my absolute best. I would want somebody to give that to me. And I think that's the integrity when you are cooking.
Right, exactly. So I know that I know, Chef, you're located in Oakland. Shelty, where are you located?
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area as well.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about these businesses you started with your husband. You said you don't have a what we call here in Philadelphia is a PP number. It's a police photo number. You don't have one of those, do you?
After 18, I decided that's not the mug shot, and I wanted to put on flyers. So, but my husband and I, we have been blessed, like we have that entrepreneurial spirit from the beginning. While we was raising kids, it took a while, and he, kind of was the backbone, established a family. The Holy Spirit told me to leave my job in 2006. Like he didn't hear it, but I heard it. I did. I heard it loud clear. And because he was taking me away to be able to help raise the children and be in that space. But he kept constantly, expanding in the comedy for me. And we began to produce. We started Two Real Records when we first got together. And our first project was a CD. We met doing music. So we had always been in that space. Eventually, as our children were getting older, he was finally able to open up the barbershop, which was his vision and his passion. And so supported him in that space, and he opened up the barbershop. And then recently we expanded Two Real Entertainment into a talent agency. And so now we do productions. We have a feature film out. We stand-up specials, comedy shows, which is how Kim and I have connected a couple of times. She was in one of my productions, and now I'm in her production that we're getting ready to do. And so, but yeah, it's just being, allowing God to give us the opportunity to have the desires of our hearts and walk in it and see him manifest those visions and dreams.
Tell us more about that production that you're doing together.
Well, Kim is producing. I let Kim do that part because that's her baby, and you know how you talk about your kids. So,
oh, guys, okay. So, I started my business. It was What's Cooking, and I've just recently changed it to Chef Kim L. Just because it gave me more of a variety. I can do so many things under that umbrella as Chef Kim L. The production, the food, and so much more is coming. But so back in 2017, I just had this dream. I was sitting at my job, and I've been fortunate to meet a lot of great comics and cook for them. And so one of my comics, I hit him up. I said, I have an idea of a show I want to produce. What's Cooking presents Hot Jokes on a Platter. He was like, oh my God, like that's amazing. We got to do it. So, I mean, lo and behold, we did the show. So I've done 3 shows under that name. And then I took a break and I came back around. So I need to just rebrand everything. And so came up with the name Chef Kim L. So, okay, that's going to be the name. And then I was like, okay, when am I going to get back to doing the show? I took a long break, just trying to restructure things. And I was like, okay, you know what? I love music, I love comedy, and I love food. I think it's one of the greatest relationships. You go to a place, you have good music, good comedy, and good food. It makes for a great night out. And also believing that health and wealth all go together, and laughter being medicine. I said, you know what? I got to get back to this. I did not start that dream for no reason. When it was planted in me, I said, this thing is going to grow, and it's going to be more than just the Bay Area. We're going to take it national. And I learned that if you can afford your dreams, you're dreaming too small. So I said, okay, God, I know what you're holding, and this seed is being in this ground, and we're going to continue to water it. I'm just being so blessed to meet so many amazing comics, singers, There's just people just all around who believe also in my dream. I said, I didn't come back into this for nothing. So this will be the first production under Chef Camille Presents Rhythm and Love. And I'm just looking forward to growing all over, taking the show East and West Coast, North and South. So I'm excited. I have great talent in front. I mean, Shelty, we got G King, Arvin Mitchell. I mean, everyone on the show been doing comedy over 20 years. And of course, Kenny J with the music. Everybody on the show, I'm fortunate to have, they're great friends of mine. We have another comic added, Rudy Ortiz. And like I said, comedy has no color. There's no race. If you're funny, you're funny. And I love to pour back into those who I believe in their talent. Like, let's get this money. We can all win together. So it's not just about me, but laughter being medicine, that health and wellness component. Again, you can't lose with that. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, Shell, you don't have nothing to say? She said it all, huh?
She did. I was like, "Go, girl!" Oh my gosh, I'm excited. No, I am. I just love the fact that when she, she had this vision, she put it together, and it just feels right. It feels good, and I'm excited because, like she said, the comedians that are on deck are just great comedians. It's a very feel good moment, and again. Being able to combine the passions of good food and healthy food, as well as laughter being medicine, it's just, you just can't go wrong with stuff like that. And the ability to collaborate with individuals in a space to bring entertainment and good times to people. I'm here for it, and I'm excited about it. Very excited.
Fantastic. I'm gonna throw both of you guys a curveball real quick. Somebody said, Tiana Johnson said, Chef Kim is the truth. I love her food. No doubt. No doubt. So I'm gonna throw you a curveball real quick, Shell. You got which one should I get this? Let me see. All right. So yeah, all right, I get this one to you. You got $5. What are you preparing? A full meal for $5. What you making?
Give her $10. I mean,
no, I want the chef. I'm gonna give Chef a different question. This is for Shell.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
$10? Oh, come on. That's simple.
She got 7 kids. She got to look. I know she had to stretch that.
Give her 99 more cents.
So I'm cooking for 2 days. So we're gonna
Hold on, let me give a round of applause for that one right there.
This is not a game. We're gonna make some spaghetti because spaghetti stretch. You get you some noodles and now you can get some healthy noodles. I do like the chickpea noodles and things like that. Some ground turkey. The first night you have it like regular spaghetti. The next night you go ahead and add some cheese and bake it in the oven. It becomes a spaghetti bake. So you got 2 meals out of that one hookup. Yeah.
Hey, I'm playing this back because I need the notes on that because that's how I eat right there. I'm just letting you know, right? All right, Chef. You got broccoli. What are you making with broccoli? Tell me what you want to make with broccoli. That's all you got that one vegetable. I need two more things to make me a full plate.
2 more things to make a full, in addition to the broccoli, or am I stretching the broccoli out?
However you want to do it. You the chef.
Well, we can of course make some cream of broccoli soup. I mean, that's the simplest thing. Most economical, throw some stock in there, your heavy cream, the cheese, you're good. And that's going to stretch for some days.
So Master Chef, if you was on Master Chef, right, and you had to pull out your favorite dish to compete with him, what dish would that be?
I mean, I got to give it to the salmon burger. Y'all just don't understand that. That is my baby. And I'm not saying, I give it like this. I tell people, I'm a chef, and chefs should know how to cook. So I'm presenting this. You give me your opinion on it. That's all I say. And the reviews have spoken for themselves, and it blesses my heart. I say that. Very humbly.
So what you making with the salmon burger? I need two other things on that.
The salmon burger, okay, I'm definitely gonna have either my Yukon Gold fries or my sweet potato, even a sweet potato mash. And you gotta have your nice little green guided salad. You gotta have your greens in there.
So I'm blaming y'all because I'm hungry now. So I think I'm probably the only thing open probably Wawa. I probably gotta go to Wawa and grab something to eat. I'm hungry now. That sounds good. Jeez.
My apology.
No. So I want to know, that the market out there, right? What would be the next move for you? What would be the perfect production for you guys to partner on? If it was something that you can say, this is the perfect production, what would that be?
After this one,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna put that out there since we all in front of all these people. I'm getting ready to do a stand-up special in December. You know what I mean? So my next comedy special. So Kim, we could partner up and figure out how to put that together and do that thing. But yeah, this year
Absolutely.
I'm doing another special. So for me, I think that would be a great production for us to round it out in the middle of the year, and then at the end of the year, just knock it out.
Absolutely.
See?
And
Okay.
for me, I'm thinking one of my other babies that was born was the cooking, basically bringing cooking to people's homes with the comedians, singers, and things like that. So basically, whether we have their kitchen, is bringing a taste of home, me coming in and basically them cooking with me. And then, like, with the comedians, like, I don't know what they might say, but we're off script and just going, with that, whatever they like, a lot of the comedians that I've cooked for, whatever that favorite dish is, and then we just having a conversation, dialogue. And I love the 90s music, so just incorporating the body of all of that. That is another project that I'm looking forward to building on.
Nice.
And of course, Shell TV, you gotta come.
Nice.
Mom and
That's-
7 kids coming together. We in the kitchen. I only got 2, but yeah, we're gonna have a great time with that. Yeah, so that's
Chef,
really special.
Chef, what do you think is the next big trend in the culinary world?
That is a great question, and I know I just see a lot of the fusion foods, bringing together different cultures. And one of the things I see, you can literally make any cuisine as long as you have the spices. You understand the spices for that country. You bring it together. Like, you can do the American and Mediterranean and fuse that together. I actually had a really good the oyster mushroom. I love the oyster mushroom. So bringing that in with the Mediterranean oyster mushroom. Oh my goodness. I went to a restaurant, had an oyster mushroom with a plantain waffle, and it was so good. I said, I got to go home and make it. And I went home and made it. And my niece that's on here, Tayana, she was like, that looked like chicken, auntie. So I became pescatarian, vegetarian over the past maybe 9 months. And I love it. So I love things with mushrooms. We're going to get the mushrooms going. Really healthy. And you can have a lot of fun with it, I believe.
Yeah. That's how I eat mushroom everything. So you brought up, listen, you brought up 90s music. So now I'm gonna put both of y'all on the spot again. Who would be on your top 5 Mount Everest? Mount Everest. That would be 4, right? 4. Your Mount Everest. Who would be on your Mount Everest of music?
From the 90s or just
from the 90s? You know what? I'm not gonna confine it. So, because I normally do, when you talk music, we do like who's on your top 5, right? We do a top 5 thing. And so I want y'all to give me your top 5. It can be R&B and music, but I recently did a post and people went nuts, right? Because I said, I'll do it with this. This is what I would like. All right, here we go. You have all of the female groups, all of the women groups out there. You have to sell out a concert in one day. You can only pick 3 groups. Who would those groups be?
Dead and alive, or just alive?
Both. Whatever you like. You have to sell out. You have to sell out in an hour. I'm going to put an hour. You got to sell out in an hour.
It has to be groups?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm definitely, I'm SWV.
Yeah.
Let me think. That was Sell Out. I didn't even throw Escape in there.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think Escape. I mean, the music is still what the music is. Drama or not excluded, the music is what it is. And
they got to be groups.
Groups. Yep.
Dang.
And yeah, I mean, stumped. And I rarely get stumped like this, but I know Let's see. I love Jay. I'm a Jay baby.
Okay.
And I mean,
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, it was something about that music. I mean, I look at my playlist and like those three groups, I know they still get a lot of play in my playlist. I'm just an old school head. I look a little young, I think, but I love the 90s music, and those are my top three. So hopefully we selling out still.
All right, Shell. Come on, Shell. Holla at me.
And it's the same. Well, she took two, so I'm a mix mine. I'm gonna have a duo. So I would have to say again, we doing 90s SWV and Escape.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh gosh, the 90s.
It don't have to be 90s. Just who
they
you
don't have
selling
to
out.
be 90s. Okay. Because I mean, for me, it's I feel so bad. I don't know, because I'm going back and forth to church.
Well, that was my question to Shell. Like, from a pastor as a comedian as well. Like, how did those two worlds meet? And is it like, does the pastoral side help with the comedian side? Or
Hold up, before we get there though,
Okay,
I want to
right.
get her group. She need to sell out this concert.
I know, and so I'm going with we're gonna start the concert off, and we in the name of Jesus. So we're gonna bring in the atmosphere.
You could throw Yolanda Adams or
Okay.
But he said group, and that's what threw me off.
It's all
Whitney was
good.
coming back.
But I'm surprised y'all nobody said Destiny Child.
Because
Destiny Child. Ain't nobody saying Destiny Child.
Destiny Child is sell out themselves.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're
I
right.
guess because you don't really see, like, when I think of Destiny Child, it's always Beyonce now.
Okay.
It's not really like
Beyonce and the
don't
girls, huh?
see that group anymore, because she's just so so
she's
huge.
big.
Like, they're kind of So then you said group, and if you would have said single, I probably would have been like, and but no, TLC.
I got you. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
TLC will work.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Just open it up. SWV, and then we gonna have Escape, and then TLC. We bring in Left Eye Back too, and Whitney gonna close it out. She gonna
You got Invo, you got Brownstone.
I know. Invo, Brownstone. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Chef. You was go ahead, Chef. Go ahead, holler at me.
Yeah, man, you bringing all the names, Brownstone. I'm like, okay, but
Escape, right? We could do Escape. Right?
Yeah.
It's real popular.
Yeah,
Invo.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even think. Yeah.
We can sell out. There you go. All right, go ahead, Spark. Holler at me.
All right, Shell. So back to that question, like as far as pastoral side, comedic side, like how did those two worlds meet? Does sometimes you can utilize them, or how is that taken like from the congregation with the, being a comedian, like all of that in one?
Well, the cool part about it is that God said He put me on the stage before He put me in the pulpit. So I was a comedian first before I really got deep into ministry. And as a pastor, I get to say things because I'm a comedian, so I can say it comedically to people. Like, you really singing Ain't Your Ministry, we gonna put you in children's church. Like, I can say certain things that everybody can't say, but also I'm a clean comedian. So I do clean comedy as well, but I do clean comedy anywhere and everywhere I go. And so I get an opportunity to combine both the comedic side and the ministry side in everything I do. So when I'm at a club, my catchphrase, I always catch myself saying amen, like when I'm transitioning in jokes. And then I can be funny and still be, still honor God and do everything else. And then when I'm speaking at church, I'm funny. And so I can bring a message and it can still be comedic at the same time. So it's just like a perfect storm, because that's how He's created me. I have a love for God, a love for the Word of God, and then he made me really funny. And so as I was transitioning in life to become, the person that I've been called to be, all the negative things dropped off, and so they pair together really, really well. Like I can be at a show, and when I produce shows, I can have all types of crowds in there enjoying it and having a great time, and still honor God in everything I do.
Awesome. Praise God. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Shell, I got a quick.
That was offering time. Man.
I know that's offering time. That's funny. And so, what do you do in the instance of? Because I like to ask comedians this, right? Because usually they remember their first time getting booed, right? If they even ever got booed, but I never heard of it. I think one comedian said, "I never got booed." Well, okay, I got you, but. Have you, what do you do in the instance of a heckler? How do you handle that, right? Because we were talking about Dave Chappelle and, someone running on stage or people just kind of interrupting the show and things of that nature. What do you do in the event of a heckler?
The cool part about it is I've never really had that experience in a heavily negative way. Like people will say things, and a great comedian is a person that can handle any situation on stage at any time. Now, of course, somebody running up on stage, you're gonna have to figure that out in a different way. But when I have somebody that heckles, as long as you have a quick comeback and you're able to continue with your process, I think you're able to control the moment. It's like being able to control the moment.
Yeah.
And not allowing it to throw you off. Because I think when it throws you off and people get stuck and be like, oh, you just go talking for, like when they start showing that they've been thrown off, I think that's when you've kind of lost the battle. But if you can go back and forth, because I've seen some comedians that are able to just kind of go back and forth and turn it into the show. That's the part I like. When you can take it and it becomes a part of the show and then you can move on like nothing ever happened. I think that's the best part of it. So I've had it and I've been able to say something quickly to get them back in the groove of it and then move on with the process.
Fantastic. Chef, I have to ask you, is it anyone that you would love to cook for? Do you think like that as a chef? Like, I would love to present a spread to X, Y, and Z. What encouraged you or what inspires you?
Well, definitely, I have plenty of people I still would like to cook for, and no particular names come to mind. But what inspires me is being able to make a connection and just the reaction that people get. And I love the challenge to change someone's mind about a food. Or they say they don't like something. The only reasons why I find it hard if it's a texture thing, because some people don't like pudding. I love making banana pudding. Actually, one of my signature desserts. And so if they say they just can't do pudding, then I'm like, or the real soft things, that I kind of lose that battle. But I love to be able to change someone's mind. Like people are like, oh, I don't eat asparagus, or I don't eat a fava bean. I had people change their mind about that just with me learning and creating. So whoever I'm able to reach across this world, I just think I want to touch hearts one at a time. So, name it, let's go.
What's the first thing you bring into a cookout?
What you bring into the cookout?
What you bring into the cookout, Chef?
Banana pudding treats. I love making banana pudding. Now, somebody don't like banana, and so you got to make sure you have enough cookies. A lot of people, they will put way more pudding, and most people I found they like it heavy on the cookies, and they don't need a whole lot of bananas. Your banana pudding will turn brown when you have a whole lot of bananas in there. So you got a small layer of bananas for the flavor, layer them cookies, and you want to make a fresh from scratch whipped cream. I mean, you got to use vanilla bean. You want to up that flavor. You talking about it just hits every part. It's like tastes like ice cream,
Me,
oh yeah, I love
me and Lauren shaking our head. Yup, because
yeah, you got it.
For the late people who just for our latecomers that's viewing this, tell us again about the event that's coming up and how you both are collaborating.
Okay, so we have Chef Camille presents Rhythm and Laughs, and I think I called it wrong earlier. But the Chef Camille presents Rhythm and laughs, because again, we got music, we got comedy, we're bringing it all together. And this is July 27th here in the Bay Area. That is in Berkeley, California, at the Black Repertory Group Theater. And I have Shell T as my host. I have Rudy Ortiz and G King as features, and Arvin Mitchell, longtime Comic View vet, on the show. And we have Kenny J bringing the music. You guys know Kenny J and that 90s soulful sound he's bringing all the way here to California. So we are just so excited. And again, I reached out to the lovely Shell T. She's funny. And every time we work together, whether it's our play production and just following each other's, pages, and like Shell's always thinking about me. I seen this. You got to audition for this. But I also act, and so it's just collaborating. Whenever you see something, it's not just about yourself. So I'm all about putting back things into the community, wherever I'm fortunate to, hire others and those that can do the same for me. So again, collaborations, you can win so much further. You can't do this by yourself. So you need a team.
No doubt. You mean the saxophonist? The one who
no.
Kenny G?
Kenny J.
Kenny J. Oh, she said that.
Like, for real? Bro, you didn't tell me Kenny G was in the building.
I was about to say, wait, he said everyone love that soul for me. I was about to come, I'm getting my flight right now. We coming to the Bay.
Bring them out.
Kenny has a song, You're a Woman. He has his album getting ready to be released. He's an amazing soulful singer. I love his energy. Watch him perform this and stuff. We're gonna have a great time. Again, we got music, we got laughter, we got good food. We are going to have such a great, grown and sexy time, and just have fun. You get to meet new people that you've never heard of before. I always tell people, if it's a comic, if you've never heard them, go and check them out. I believe my comedic barometer is pretty great. I don't say I'm not the guru on this, but when you can make me double over, pull my stomach, and I just think about those jokes, I'm like, yeah, we can work together. So yeah.
Do y'all have a lot of places? Do y'all have a lot of places like that over in the Bay Area?
There's a lot of comedy clubs. We have some of the main ones. We got the Improvs, the San Jose, there's Tommy T's Comedy Club, which is one of the places I did my first show. You got Punchline, you got Cobb's Comedy. So the Bay Area, and then there's a lot of smaller, intimate places, and even in the I think Brentwood, there's, I can't remember Ernest Spot, but there's a lot of sometimes people just do pop-ups. So you always got somebody putting together a show. And again, the Black Repertory Group Theater, I love the family. They've definitely been very gracious to me to allow me to come in to host the show. So like I said, it's a lot, and there's so much talent in the Bay Area. So I'm excited to work with everybody and bring new people in. So
yeah.
Where do people get tickets?
How can they get tickets? We're gonna get there real quick, but I got one more question because I want them to know where they can find you and get all that good old stuff real quick. But are you a specialty in macaroni and cheese? Because a lot of people can't make macaroni and cheese.
Let me tell you, I had some macaroni the other day. I don't remember the place. It was just dry, and I was like, sheesh.
See?
Yeah, everybody unfortunately cannot make macaroni and cheese, but I would say it's one of my specialties. I love it because I'm looking at the texture and what you're looking at, like the consistency of the cheese. If it's not melting, if it's hard as a brick, you can't present that to somebody. You want to see the cheese, you want to have that your foundation, proper. So you have to use the big noodles.
These are big noodles. I know that's right. What if they don't have the money? Can you give me a little bit of noodles with half a cheese?
Everybody, you need credentials to be making macaroni and cheese.
You gotta be certified.
You gotta get references from your grandma. You know what I'm saying? That's not.
You can't be first generation.
Cheese on macaroni. Your cheese has to melt. You need a good quality cheese. So yeah, you gotta trust that melting consistency. It's so important. A great roux to start. Yeah, you can't play around with it. So
fantastic.
Them new generation Gen Zers and them young millennials, when they start asking if they can bring, you tell them, baby, just bring some paper plates. You ain't ready.
Just bring the plates. A couple plastic forks. That's it. No.
The foil.
Leave the foil alone. Get the good foil.
Right.
Foil that don't stick to each other.
We don't put in the dollar store foil. I mean, I abhor
I
dollar
can't
store
stand it.
foil. Like,
leave the foil alone, right? And so how can I get in contact with you and get the tickets and all that good old stuff? Yeah.
okay. So I'm on IG as Chef Kim L. Is the phonetic spelling of the letter L. So Kim ELLE, Chef Kim L. And tickets are available at Eventbrite anywhere in the Bay Area. Or if you're on the other coast and know people in the Bay Area, let them know about this great, awesome event. So Eventbrite, you can look up Chef Kim L Presents Rhythm and Laughs, and that's where we are. And you can always DM me too, but I will, if they're in person in the Bay Area, we can link up and they can buy tickets from me personally.
All right. Well, there you go, fellas. She said slide in her inbox. She said you can even slide DM, get them tickets.
What the tickets? We're trying to get these tickets.
You get them tickets, no doubt. Come on, Chef. Tell me how they can get in contact with you.
You can find me at Shell T, CHELLE space T everywhere. Go ahead and just Google it. Everything that I have will come up. All my stand-up, anything that I'm doing, productions that we've done. Just Shell T, Google it, and you'll get everything that you need.
All right. So I got a surprise for y'all. Hold on. Let me give a round of applause. Hold on. 1 second. Somebody said, I just got my tickets.
Let's go. In the building. That's right.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
There you go. So shout out to you. We really appreciate you, ladies. You really appreciate, one thing we say is once you come to absolutely. One thing we say, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show. So you're always welcome to come back. We always do a New Year's Eve special too, that you're more than welcome to come back and talk, join our New Year's Eve show. We like to do that. And we talk about our top 5 moments of, it'll be 2024 at this point. So your top 5 moments of 2024 going into 2025. But you're always welcome to come back. And thanks for coming. One more again, how do they get in contact with you guys before we let you go?
Again, it is Chef Kim L ELLE on Instagram and even Facebook. And again, just remember Eventbrite, Chef Kim L Presents Rhythm and Laughs. And come on, have a great time.
Yeah.
See y'all soon. And thank you guys for Talk Weekly. Love y'all.
We love you back. Come on, Shell. One more again. How they get in contact with you?
Shell T, CHELLE space T. Google it. Just put it in Google and everything will come up. And it'll give you information on Two Real Entertainment agency, as well as any events that we have coming, especially the one July 27th in Berkeley, California.
Awesome.
No doubt. Shout out to Tiana Johnson for grabbing her tickets. Appreciate you for supporting. Appreciate you for supporting. And so we just want to say thanks again. And one thing we say to the show, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show. And we always inspire, continue to push. And we thank you for coming in. And we hope you and wish you much success.
Absolutely.
Spark, you got something you want to say?
Just keep soaring, ladies. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you for all that you've done for the community.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no doubt. And sure, I just want to give a special shout out to you. Those kids, the babies are the future. They're getting a lot of bad, it's a lot of bad conversation happening around these kids, these youth right now. And salute to you for those babies and blending the families and holding that down, because we need, especially them boys, boys. So kudos to you. But yeah, we out. I don't want you guys to go anywhere. When we come back, we got the sizzle, man. We'll be right back, y'all. Holla at your boy.
What's going on, you guys? This is Bridget Kelly, and you are locked into We Talk Weekly.
There you go. Now I can hear myself. We Talk Weekly after the talk of WPP MLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
Classy Lady Sparkle's definitely in the building. You ready for the sizzle?
I'm ready.
She said she ready. She ready. She born ready. Holla at me early.
All right. Make sure you guys subscribe to We Talk Weekly on all social media and major podcast platforms. And if you can support us even further, make a donation on Cash App $ We Talk Weekly. No donation is too great or too small. All right. So, an Arizona man has been convicted by a federal grand jury on charges of firearms trafficking, transfer of a firearm for use in a hate crime, and possession of an unregistered firearm after plotting to start a race war at Bad Bunny's May 14th concert. So 58-year-old Mark Prieto came under FBI investigation after a confidential source notified them that Prieto had planned to start a race war prior to the 2024 presidential election. The source told the FBI that they spoke to Prieto over 15 times over 3 years at different gun shows. So over time, Prieto started making radical comments and advocating for a mass shooting to specifically target Blacks, Jews, and Muslims. So Prieto believed that martial law would be implemented shortly after the 2024 election and that he should carry out a mass shooting prior to this martial law supposedly happening. So Prieto allegedly asked the source if they were ready to kill a bunch of people.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, this is wild. So Prieto was a vendor at a gun show, at different gun shows, and he also traded guns from his own collection. So he had solicited the help of the undercover FBI agent who was associated with the source in an attempt to carry out the mass shooting at an African-American concert in Atlanta. So he was making this plan to do it at a concert in Atlanta. So he was asked why Atlanta, and he said, Georgia is such an effed up state right now. When I was a kid, that was one of the most conservative states in the country, because as the crime got worse in LA, St. Louis, and all these other cities, all the N-word expletive he used the N-word, all the N-words moved out of those places and moved to Atlanta. So he basically wanted to target a rap concert because more Blacks would be there. And ultimately, he ended up choosing Bad Bunny's concert. He wanted a high amount of casualties. So he laid out his plan with the undercover agent and the source, including, all these weapons that he's going to use and how he's going to use them. And he even sold a firearm to the undercover FBI agent for $2,000. So he was arrested in New Mexico on May 14th, which was the day the Bad Bunny concert had went down, which is on the 14th and the 15th. But after his arrest, he told authorities that he did not plan to go through with the mass shooting.
Now, Bad Bunny is the girl from Meet Me Outside?
No, he's the guy. He was dating Kendall Jenner. But Bad Bunny has a lot. He's a Latino artist. He has a lot of big hits. He actually was here in Philly not that long ago. I say about 2 months ago, and it's a couple people that I know, Latina and Latino. They went to the concert, and he's huge.
Wow.
So just to imagine him being there, and his concert draws thousands of people, not just Latinos, but Blacks, whites, all different races.
Right.
So if this man would have got away with this, it's just crazy what's going on, especially surrounding this the election. I don't know what he thought he was going to do. As far as was he trying to do something to help Donald Trump or the Republicans or whatever it is? This just wasn't a good look, and people just need to be vigilant right now, because he unfortunately may not be the only one that's trying to start this race war. And I've been hearing race wars since January 6th. Keep your eyes open. Yeah, I know it's so cliche to say, but if you see something, say something. Anybody going to a concert or whatever. Actor Michael Rainey Jr. He was sexually assaulted while appearing on the Talil show. So during the show, which was live streamed on Twitch, there were a bunch of people standing around in the video, including children, unfortunately, when a young woman reaches over and walks up and grabs and gropes Michael Rainey Jr.'s crotch, making the 23-year-old actor visibly uncomfortable. The woman's hand was actually, you couldn't actually see the hand because it was hidden behind one of the heads of the children. But unfortunately, they were streaming during this time. The host, Tylil Jones, who streams to Twitch, he has about, I think, 130,000 followers. So many different people have seen this. And while the specific incident happened, a lot of people were that were in the room weren't aware that was actually going on. But you could see his face, and he visibly, it really was awkward to watch. But Michael commented saying, "This is an unfortunate situation that I do not condone in any way. I can't take it lightly because I know I would be in serious trouble if the roles were reversed. The fact is, sexual assault is never okay, regardless of gender or status. We're all human and we should respect each other. Most importantly, we should always respect ourselves." So the host, Tylo James, did apologize in the Instagram story post saying, "My little sister was completely wrong and out of line. What she did was very inappropriate and unacceptable. I am truly embarrassed and disgusted by her actions." But in a plot twist, 50 Cent got backlash for a comment he posted that was quickly deleted. He said, "Wait, sexual assault from a male perspective. This was an aggressive advance. LOL, he's fine. No charges are being pressed." And he quickly deleted that. But many people came to Michael Rainey Jr.'s defense, with one person saying this was sexual assault. She touched him without consent. Don't downplay this. And some even came to Michael Rainey's defense and urged him to file sexual assault charges.
How old is the sister?
They didn't mention the sister's age. You could see the side of her face, but I mean, she does look young. Hopefully she was at least 18. Because I'd hate the thought of a kid, if you could see her face in that picture, I just would hate the thought of a underage girl coming on like that. Because, from a law enforcement perspective, it is sexual assault. It is sexual assault. And the harsh reality of somebody having to register as a sexual offender for the rest of their life or however long is a weight.
I was looking at it wrong. So it's a kid. That's a kid that's blocking it.
Yeah, it's like
okay, because I was like that looked like a kid, but on the side. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's kind of, you can't see your hand because it's like a little kid there blocking it.
Right. That's why I thought it was the kid, but it's that the kid was blocking the actual photo. Yes, there she is on the side.
Right.
She don't look too young. She knew better than that.
Yeah. So what's your comment, C?
I mean, it is what it is. I just, I think they were young or whatever, and I hate to, target anything, but, where are the hyperly aggressive people when it comes to assault? On the other side, I would like to have seen them just as heavily, active about this, because you tend to hear the crickets, so to speak, when it happens to fellas, because again, we supposed to be, we the guys, we can take it, right? But it looks hypocritical sometimes when people take a stance, but then when it happens on the other side, it's quiet. It's pretty quiet. But That's where I'm at with it. You know. But I think she was young. I don't think it was wrong. But I mean, she's young. You know.
Yeah. Do you think she was underage or just like?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow their podcast. And then he mentioned little sister. Yeah. So I'm sure they teenagers or something like that. And so I don't know. I don't know. I tend to try not to talk on the kids too much, you know, especially the females. You know, it's just not a good look.
Not at all.
All right. So the Celebrity Sizzle Award of the week goes to Jay-Z's Rock Nation. They have announced that it will launch a multi-million-dollar education campaign. Rock Nation will help underprivileged Philadelphia students to get $300 million in scholarships to attend private schools via the Pennsylvania Award for Student Success, which acronyms is PASS, P-A-S-S. Dania Diaz, Rock Nation's managing director of philanthropy, said, "We have enjoyed such a special connection with Philadelphians, so we've made it our mission to invest in the long-term success of the city's change makers. Impact starts with students and with awareness, and we want to empower the youth and families with the knowledge to pursue their scholastic dreams, make their voices heard, and become the leaders of tomorrow. The scholarships offered through the PASS program range from $2,500 for half-day kindergarten students, $5,000 for K through 8 grades, and $10,000 for 9 through 12 grades, and $15,000 for students with special needs." So kudos to Jay-Z's Rock Nation, and I'm Lauren, and that is the Sizzle.
And that was the Sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful
Lauren,
and a beautiful
classy lady Sparkle.
Lauren, I just said something. I actually want you to follow up on that story. I think that it would be good for us to follow that as it relates to something that's truly happening in Philadelphia. And do some go ahead.
He actually, and I don't know the full details of it, but I know they were giving Jay-Z some backlash for doing that here.
The problem, I don't know why. I mean, see, this is the thing. Jay-Z, oh gosh. Jay-Z used to spend a lot of time in Philly. Jay-Z is responsible for state property. The Jay-Z, it's just crazy. Like, no, he's doing good for the kids. Let him live. Like, it's not like he's taking anything out of the community. He's actually putting something in the community. And one of the things we say that the dollar circulate in the black community, I think like 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, this is being put in the community and going to circulate for a long time. So we need to kind of help amplify this and help support it. So I would like for you to do a little bit more, investigative and see if we can reach out to somebody in that camp to talk a little bit about what this is. Maybe it's information that people don't know so we can get full context. And that happens also. A lot of us just take pull quotes. We don't know the full context and we start pointing fingers. We don't know anything.
Oh, I do remember. What it was. They were mad because it's for private schools and not public schools. So they were mad about that part.
And I get that too. But I believe that our so-called parking authority was supposed to be giving money to the public schools. No one called them to task and said, "What's up with them?" See, this is what was it Reinhardt? Who did we interview? Rebecca Reinhardt. She was on those funds. She would have been able to tell you where all those pennies are going to. The sugar tax, that's supposed to go to the public schools also, from my understanding, right? Yeah. And so let's start from the beginning and then go to Jay-Z, who's doing some philanthropic work, right? That's someone who don't have to do it. And I'm not, like, I am patting him on his back a little bit because he doesn't have to do it, right? But what I am saying is that we have an obligation to our own first. And so if our own isn't doing what they supposed to do, let's call them the task first, right? And so I'll just say I would like to know more about this. So if you can stay on top of that, do some, some research, some investigative, and see if we can talk to somebody from that organization to help amplify where this money is going. And it's probably private schools, because if like I know, it's always red tape. And he probably wanted to give money to the public schools, and they made him, oh, you got to give it to here first, and then you got to do it this, and then you got to do that. It's kind of like, well, what the heck? Like, I'm trying to do good, and you making me jump through hoops to do good. That's what happens. Literally, and it's the last story, when they did, Kobe Bryant's widow developed or assisted in developing Tustins in West Philadelphia, Parks and Rec was literally going to put her through hoops just to help out. And it's kind of like, I think they, I'll get the full story, but I think they worked it out. But it's kind of like, why? If someone is trying to help, let them help. Stop the red tape. Stop the BS, pretty much. Stop the BS. And so in any event, I just say all that to say that we don't know the full story, because maybe we can get somebody on to be able to talk about and put it in context on why they just specifically targeted or gave the money to private schools, are going to give the money to private schools. And so that's one of the questions that we can ask. And so when we talk about local news or hyper local news, these are the stories, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no doubt.
One of our jobs as local news is to hold local government accountable.
That's right.
That's basically the oath that you take on is to hold local government accountable, because at the end of the day, the community has questions, and it's our job to get to the bottom of those questions. And when you talk about solutions-based journalism,
that's right.
Yeah, that's important.
All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregg with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle
and a beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And this is We Talk Weekly After the Talk on WPP MLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk. Dynamic show. We'll see you next week, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.